Hello everyone, this is Rachna and I'm here with another chapter on grammar, and that is question tags. Well, when we think of question tags, the first thing that comes in our mind is that what are question tags? And apart from this, we really wonder whether this really is that important. Of course, it is important. And before we go ahead with this chapter, I would like you all to recall that in my previous video, when we were doing punctuation marks and a couple of others where I've spoken about conversation or communicating with somebody, especially when we are talking about verbal communication. The important thing is your the way you are speaking. What really are you speaking? And when we talk of communication, the important thing that comes in between is the punctuation marks. Now, just as important as punctuation marks are when we talk of speaking well, equally important are question tags, because if the punctuation mark put correct, you see, it brings about the real meaning to that particular sentence that is either written or spoken, and most importantly, when it is spoken. So similarly, question tags also play a very vital role in getting something understood in the right way. So, without wasting any time, let's understand what really are question tags. Question tags are short questions at the end of statements. They are mainly used in speech when we want to either confirm that something is there or not, or to encourage a reply from the person we are speaking to. Let's take, for example, you are an English wizard, aren't you? So you see, when we're talking of this particular sentence, you are an English wizard. Now, this is a statement which is made to a person who's listening to it. And then just to confirm, we say, aren't you? Right? Now, let's get into a little more detail about this. Now, let's understand how question tags are formed and used. Okay, the use of question tags. There are a few points about which, about the use of question tags. Number one, a positive statement takes a negative tag, and a negative statement takes a positive tag. For example, it is very cold today, isn't it? It's not very hot today, is it? So here, what is it? It is a positive statement that it is very hot today, and the negative statement, it becomes it has a negative tag like, isn't it? Okay. Or if we are talking about a negative statement like, it is not very hot today, now not comes and makes it a negative statement, and then it it has a positive tag like, is it? So you're not using isn't it, we're using is it. Similarly, when we say, when a sentence has a negative subject, object, or complement, it is regarded as a negative statement. Here it needs a positive tag. For example, none of these pens worked, did they? Now here, what is it? It's a negative subject. Like you have the none of these pens. So that very none actually is a negative thing, negative subject. So here, what does it need? It needs a positive tag like, did they? None of these pens worked, did they? I saw nobody whom I knew, did I? So we are just reaffirming that I saw nobody, right? So now let's understand another. Now let's understand the next one, the next rule, that is words like little, few, hardly, rarely, seldom, etc. are regarded as negatives. They take a positive tag. For example, few boys were present, were they? Little improvement has been made, has it? So here we can very well see that words like little, few, hardly, they are regarded as negatives, and hence a positive tag is being used over here. Now what you really need to note is that a few and a little are positive and they need a negative tag. A few boys knew the answer, didn't they? A little improvement has been made, hasn't it? Now when we look at the next rule, it's like when a personal pronoun is the subject of a sentence, they are repeated as the tags of the question. Like, she is very intelligent, isn't she? That boy is not innocent, is he? Similarly, if the verb is in the form of to be or to have, meaning possession, the tense of the verb is also used in the tag. For example, John has a car, hasn't he? I'm more intelligent than you, aren't I? Now what you need to note here is that the interrogative form of I am not is not amn't I, but aren't I? Right? So used to is usually used for the past tense. He used to be very active, didn't he? Now, if the auxiliary has a compound form, example, have been, shall have, etc., only the first word of the auxiliary is repeated in the tag. For example, he has done his work, hasn't he? My scooter is being repaired, isn't it? Now, in imperative sentences, the simple request usually take will you, whether it is a positive or a negative request. For example, pass me the salt, will you? Don't be late for the lecture, will you? So now if there are invitations or suggestions, they may also take will you or won't you. For example, take another cup of tea, will you? Statements being with let, like the tag shall we. Let's go out for a walk, shall we? Everybody and everyone are singular pronouns, but they are usually regarded as plural for the purpose of the tag. Like, everybody can't pass their examination, can they? Everyone came to our help, didn't they? Now, none of is followed by a plural noun. It is also regarded as plural. For example, none of the boys turned up, did they? But none of us has we as the tag. None of us went there, did we? Now, some of us takes we and some of you takes you as tags. Like, some of us wanted to play, didn't we? Or some of you were learning English, weren't you? Aren't you? So what we have understood in this, let's summarize it in a slide. If you take a look at this particular chart, what do you see? A positive statement plus a negative question tag. So what I mean to say here is that a question tag, what would really happen is like, you are a student, aren't you? So what have we done here is that positive statement like you are gets a negative question tag like aren't you. A negative statement gets a positive question tag like Mary isn't a teacher, is she? So the negative statement is Mary isn't, and a positive question tag is she? Now, the most important thing that we need to keep in mind are the intonations. Because you see, the entire thing changes, the meaning changes when the intonation is not the way it should be. Alright, for example, if I say John doesn't speak Spanish, does he? You know, it depends on the way the intonation goes. Does it go high or does it go low? If the intonation of the question tag goes down, it means you are checking or you're just confirming the information or making a conversation, right? Wherein the intonation, if it goes up, it means you are not sure and you want to know the answer. Now here you have a list of positive question tags. I wouldn't read out all of them for you, but yes, they are there for your help. Similarly, there is a list of negative question tags. These again, you can go ahead and see them and make notes for yourself. So what we have over here are exceptions. Well, we need to know that exceptions are always there. So here, if we say that some verbs or expressions have different question tags, for example, I am. When we say I'm attractive, aren't I? So you're not using amn't I. Similarly, for positive imperative, stop daydreaming. Will you or won't you? Negative imperative would be don't stop singing, will you? Let's would be like let's go to the beach, shall we? Have got, when we're talking about a possession, it's like he has got a car, hasn't he? There is or are, there aren't any spiders in the bedroom, are they? Or we could say this, that is. This is Paul's pen, isn't it? With this, we come to the end of question tags. I really hope that everyone has understood, and we should be able to actually go ahead and make maximum use of it. And do not forget the intonations, please. That's a simple and a very, very humble request from all of you. Well, with this, we come to the end. Goodbye. Take very, very good care of yourself. Drink plenty of water and do enough of breathing exercises. Do not venture out if it's not that essential. Bye-bye.